We've all read a surprising health study or news article and wondered, is that really true? That's exactly the reaction our producers had when they read headlines everywhere, even on reputable health websites, claiming crying, especially between 7 and 10 p.m., can help you lose weight. Obviously, our producers had their doubts, so they went straight to the source, the study's author, optometrist Dr. Aaron Neufeld. He joins us now via Skype. So, Aaron, thank you for being here. According to your study, at least in all the headlines out there, crying at night, that helps us lose pounds. Does it or does it not, Doc?
Here's a big surprise. No, I don't believe it does. And I didn't even do a study about that. My writing and my research has nothing to do with that. What I did do was I wrote an article a couple years ago about the 3 types of tears. That's basal tears, reflex tears, and psychic tears, which are linked to emotions. And what I wrote in the article is that emotional tears actually have stress hormone in them. So there's some studies where they're thinking that this could possibly be related to why we cry when we're stressed and why it relieves stress. A bunch of foreign websites picked that up and they attached my name to these crazy studies. They put a bunch of stuff in there that wasn't true. And then they attributed me as the author of the study that said that crying from 7 to 10 p.m. every day somehow led to weight loss. And you know, there's too many variables to even conduct a study like this. You got to get a bunch of people, you got to get them to cry at a certain time, you got to somehow get them emotionally stressed at that time. So that just doesn't make sense. And then when you think about weight loss, one of the big components of weight loss is consistency. And how do you consistently cry for 3 hours every night?
Oh my gosh, that sounds exhausting. Well, Dr. Neufeld, I think this is actually a very common phenomenon. I mean, people will read these sort of more popular publications.
Hey, real quick, we interrupt this topic. You got in! We broke in!
Those are my brownies!
Go get them!
Don't go there!
The brownies have been freed in a daytime TV first.
They're like piranhas.
Yeah. So you know what? That woman from the first story just needs to get better at cracking these boxes.
But FYI, you all better cry a lot between 7 and 10 p.m. tonight because these brownies, I'm eating mine, they are high in calories. All right, I want to get back to this crying. Let's talk about this in a different way. Even if we can't prove it helps you lose weight, a lot of benefits to crying, right, Doc?
Yeah, there actually are a few benefits to crying. First of all, you've got your basal tears, and those are responsible for keeping the eye healthy, lubricating the cornea, and allowing for good vision. Then you have reflex tears, and reflex tears are in response to environmental stimuli, so dust, wind, or even cutting onions. And then finally, emotional tears may have some benefits. Some psychologists postulate that crying was developed as a way to develop social input. And viewing an individual that is crying somehow gets you to be more emotionally connected to that individual. And there's even some studies that think that, hey, maybe we evolved crying over time so that we could better socially link to each other.
Well, it's so true because there's actually some evidence that there is evolutionary advantages to crying. Like, it's a way that you show vulnerability, and sometimes you change the way that somebody is postulating towards you. So if they're being aggressive towards you, you start crying, and then they start being nice to you. Think about when people cry to get out of traffic tickets. That
may work for you. It's never worked for me.
It's never worked for me. I am not that person. I've never cried to try to get out of a ticket.
But cry if you feel like crying or you have something in your eye, but don't cry at night because you think it's going to help you lose weight. Aaron, we want to thank you for setting the record straight. And I think a classic example, everyone, of why you have to be careful what you read when you see a headline. And literally, Aaron's purported study, which didn't even exist, was reported in very reputable,
popular websites.
Very popular websites. So be very wary. Thanks again, Aaron, for joining us.